Allison from Heart of the Matter Yoga. Welcome to the Art of Being Happy. I'm here today with Andrew Diamond, a co-owner of Be Yoga here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we're going to share with you a sun salutation. Actually, 3 different variations of the sun salutation. A half salute, sun salute A, and sun salute B. And these are really wonderful and common warm-ups in yoga. So we're going to show you the different poses and some modifications to help you prepare to use these warm-ups in your practice. Sun salutation in Sanskrit is Surya Namaskar or Surya Namaskara. Surya refers to the sun, and Namaskara is the greeting, the salutation. Its root nama is actually the same root in namaste, and it's etymologically related to our English word name. So we'll begin. Let's start standing at the front of the mat. The first pose is Tadasana, or mountain pose. And you can take your feet sitting bones distance apart, just slightly narrower than the outer hips. Hips over knees, over ankles. Good. So you can actually step your feet slightly narrower, Andrew. Good. Take a deep breath. Like I said, this is called mountain pose, Tadasana. So stand tall, stand strong. Good. Tune into your breath. Good. Let your arms relax. Let your spine be long. On your inhale now, stretch your hands to the ceiling, reaching up, lengthening. Good. Exhale and release your hands to your sides. Good. We'll do that again without the arms. On your inhale, just stretch tall, feeling your spine elongate, your abs lift, your low back engage. Exhale, release. And now add the arms back in. On your inhale, stretch to the ceiling. Good. Exhale, and with a long spine, hinge at your hips and fold forward, touching the ground in front of you. Now go ahead and bend your knees here. Bending your knees as much as you need to let the spine release and drape down into the fold. Good. Take your hips over your heels. So you may have to lean forward a little more to take the hips over the heels. Good. Then let your head release. Nice. This pose is called Uttanasana, or forward fold. Okay. Walk your fingertips up to the shins, touching just below the knees. And again, you can keep the knees bent. The goal here is to find the abs, to keep the legs strong, and to lengthen the spine as much as you can. Great, Andrew. Touch the ground again. And on your inhale, press down strong and rise to standing, lifting your hands to the sky, looking up, lifting your heart. Exhale, hands to your sides. Good. That's one half salute. So we'll show some modifications of that now. And the first modification we'll use is a forward fold with blocks. If bending all the way over and touching the ground is too much for your legs or your back, especially if you find yourself rounding into it, go ahead and place your hands on blocks. Let's show that, Andrew. Go ahead and place your hands on blocks. Yeah, so come up here. Good. Lean forward. Good. And you may find you can straighten your legs a little more and enjoy the hamstring stretch a little more. Good. Let your head go. Awesome. Press down strong. Rise to standing. Reach all the way up. Exhale your hands to your sides. Good. So let's move through the half salute together now. On your inhale, reach to the ceiling. Stretch up. Exhale with a long spine. Lengthen and come forward. Sometimes we call this a swan dive. You can use the blocks if you like. Look forward and lengthen, taking your heart forward. Exhale and fold. And on your inhale, stretch all the way back up to the ceiling, reaching up, looking up. Exhale, hands to your sides. Good. So now that we've gotten used to using the blocks, you can use them to support you in your halfway lift out in front, and you can take them back beside your feet as you come to the forward fold. So you can let them be mobile. Let's try that. So I'll place them closer to your feet to begin. Okay. On your inhale, sweep your hands to the ceiling. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, swan dive forward, heading towards Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, walk those blocks forward, lengthen. Good. Exhale, walk the blocks back, forward fold. Now leave the blocks there and pressing down strong, rise up to standing. Exhale, release your hands to your sides. Beautiful. Okay. to Sun Salute A now. Sun Salute A includes lunges, where Sun Salute B usually includes Warrior One and sometimes some other warrior poses. So for this one, the back heel will stay lifted in our lunges. Okay? It begins the same way. On your inhale, reach to the sky, stretch up. On your exhale, with a long spine, fold. Good. On your inhale, come halfway up, maybe touching just below the knees, maybe even walking your hands to your hips. Good. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot back into a lunge. Awesome. Good. And here's a great place to use blocks again. We'll walk the blocks in for this one. Walking the blocks all the way under the shoulders, so you can walk the blocks even further back. Good. Now, Andrew, hop your back foot a little further back. Beautiful. Keep this leg strong, pressing through the back heel, while you bend your front knee to 90 degrees. Good. Lift your knee and your quads higher. Awesome. Good. Move the blocks to the side. Step back, plank pose, high push-up pose. Good. And everybody knows a push-up. So we'll start here, just like we're getting ready to do a push-up. And I'll show you a couple of variations. So for this first one, take your knees to the floor. Good. And if you happen to land in table, just inch the knees back a few inches. Good. Shoulders still over the wrists. Then lift your abs strong, lifting from the navel, filling out the back. Lift your belly button up. Good. Keeping the abs strong, lift your head and open across the shoulders. Awesome. Bend your elbows in beside you and lower towards the floor. Very good, very good. Keeping the abs strong, he's doing a great job. All the way down to the belly. Good. Now stretch your toes out long. Keep your abs gently engaged and lifting up and forward as you lengthen through your tailbone out towards your feet. Good. And we'll rise to cobra. Good. And he's keeping his elbows bent here, which is a great choice to keep the back long. Take your shoulders back more. Beautiful. Leading from the core, press back to downward facing dog. Curling the toes under, hips stretch up and back. Very nice. In downward facing dog, we're going for length from the fingertips up through the sitting bones and then down towards the heels. So go ahead and bend your knees in this first down dog, Andrew. Good. Root down strong to your hands, especially the fingertips and the pointer finger knuckle, right where the pointer finger and the palm come together. Get really strong and rooted there. Press your arms straight. And keeping your knees bent, stretch your sitting bones up and back, up towards where the wall and the ceiling meet behind you. Nice. And that's beautiful through here. Then press your thighs back, straighten your legs a little more. And finally, reach your heels towards the floor. They don't have to touch. Good. Step your right foot forward for a lunge. As many hops as it takes, get it all the way up till the front shin is vertical. Good. And we'll use our blocks again here. Just to find some clearance between the front thigh and the waist. Press the back leg strong. Good. Bend the front knee towards 90 degrees and do your best to keep your hips square. Good. Pull your right hip back a little bit. Bend your front knee deep. Lengthen through your spine. Good. Exhale, moving the blocks out of the way. Step back again. Plank pose. Good. Now for this plank, we're going to do it with the legs up, keeping the knees lifted. The parts of the body that will tend to sink are the abdomen, the waist, and the ribs, and the head. And that creates tension in the low back, and especially in the top of the shoulders, right in the trapezoid muscles. So as you lower down, if you start to sag in either of those two places, take your knees down, and that'll give you more access to your core. Pulling back with your hands, lower down slowly. Good. Yeah, so solid. Inhale right into cobra, stretching out through the hips and toes. Uncurl your toes here and stretch them back. Good. And forward through the waist and heart. Again, take your shoulders back, broaden across the collarbones, and even lengthen through the crown of your head. Beautiful. Downward dog. Lead with the core. Lifting the abs will help keep the low back from pinching in that transition. Okay. We'll take a few breaths here, or you can come to child's pose. So let's show that, Andrew. Come down onto your knees. Take your knees wider than your torso. And the arms can be beside the body or stretched out in front like Andrew has them here in extended child. Okay, downward dog or child's pose here for about 5 breaths. And curl your toes under again. Send your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Step your feet forward, coming back to the front of your mat. Find a forward fold. Fingertips to the floor, your shins or your hips. Inhale, look forward and lengthen, opening the chest. Exhale and fold in. And then root down strong, rise to standing, reaching up, looking up. Take your palms together and draw your hands to your heart center. Nice. Sun salute A. So we'll move into our Surya Namaskar B now. And this includes, like I said, a warrior one or a Virabhadrasana one, and sometimes some variations of the warrior poses. And it includes a pose called chair. So for this one, let's turn and face the camera. And we'll start with the feet together. When the feet are parallel, if we look at the second toe as the midline of the foot, when the feet are parallel, for most of us, the big toe will come together, but the heels are slightly wider. So take your feet together and experiment with that. See what's comfortable. Then gently squeeze your legs in towards the midline. Imagine you're holding a 4-leaf clover between your kneecaps. You want to hold on to all that luck. Squeeze it. Good. And then keeping that, bend your knees as if you were sitting down into a chair. To keep the knees safe, we're going to slide the hips back until the knees are right over the ankles. Shins vertical. Yeah, great. Keep squeezing your 4-leaf clover, squeezing your shins and your knees together. And then tone your abs, pulling your belly button towards your back. And tone your outer hips and glutes by squeezing them in towards your tailbone and down towards your heels. Right? Keep practicing that. That'll help get the work out of just the quads in front of the thighs. Now inhale and sweep your hands to the ceiling, pulling your tailbone towards the earth, lifting your hands and your heart towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. On your inhale, rise all the way to standing. On your exhale, hands to heart center or to your sides. Okay, so we'll move through our sun salute B now. Once again, come to the front of your mat, taking your feet together this time. Big toes touching, heels just slightly wider. Good. Gently hug to your midline. Yeah. You can do it so much that sometimes it's hard to breathe. So balance out how hard you hug, how much effort you engage there with a deep breath, an easeful breath. On your inhale, sweep your hands towards the ceiling, stretch. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Good. Sit low for Utkatasana or chair pose. Good. Sweep your hands to the ceiling, lifting your heart, lifting through your hands. Exhale, fold. Now we're going to step or hop all the way back into plank pose now. Nice. Good. So find your plank pose, and then with your exhale, lower towards the earth. We can work towards doing that in one breath. Good. Inhale to cobra pose. Good. We'll stay in cobra for this version. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale and lift your right foot to the ceiling. Good. Step your right foot lightly between your hands. And spin your back heel towards the floor. Now we're going to keep the feet as wide as the hips, just like in our lunge, but turn the back toes in at about 45 degrees. Good. So take your left foot even further to the left, even wider. Yeah. Keeping the feet as wide as the pelvis helps with balance, and also helps to rotate the hips more towards the front of the mat. Walk your hands up to your hips. Good. Okay, so in Warrior One, we want the hips to face more towards the front of the mat. So that hugging in that we practiced in chair is really important. So squeeze, even though your knees aren't together, squeeze them towards each other. And rotate your pelvis towards the front of the mat as much as you can. Yeah, good. lift your abs just like we practiced in chair, and press down through your back heel, then bend your front knee deep, and lift through your waist, lift through your arms. Stretch your pose right. Exhale, touch the ground. We'll step right back into plank. With a big inhale, lengthen. With an exhale, lower, maybe hovering this time, 1 inch above the floor. This is called chaturanga. Good. All the way down, rise to cobra. Downward facing dog. Good. We'll do the other side. On your inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step it lightly between the hands. Good. Spin your back heel to the floor. Toes turning in at about 45 degrees. Walk your hands to your hips. Hug to your midline. Good. From your core, engage and extend to the earth, descending to ascend. Reach your hands to the sky. Good. Stretch your arms straight. Exhale, touch the ground. Step back to plank. With a big inhale, lengthen. With your exhale, lower, maybe hovering in chaturanga. And then inhale, right to cobra pose. Head back, shoulders back, heart lifting. Exhale, downward facing dog. And again, we'll stay here for about 5 breaths. You can come down to rest in child's pose. Deep breaths. Move your breath through your body. End of your 5 breaths or so. Hop or step your feet all the way up to your hands. We'll find chair pose. So again, take the feet together. Hug in, sit low, and reach your hands to the ceiling. Stretch. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Root down and rise to standing all the way to the ceiling. Stretch up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close your eyes. Pause for a moment to honor the light within. Feel the energy in your body, perhaps lifted. Perhaps there's a little more space for your breath to flow. And then exhale and release your hands to your sides. So we'll talk about another important part of Sun Salute B now, which is up dog or upward facing dog. Its full name. So up dog looks just like cobra, except the hips and the knees are off the ground, which means in order to do this safely, we have to be really strong in the legs, pressing the tops of the feet down, really strong in the abs, and lengthening through the tailbone to keep the low back safe, and really strong in the arms to keep lifting up through the heart as we peel the head and shoulders back. Okay, so let's turn and face the camera again and we'll show up dog. Okay. So we've just come down, we'll say, from plank through chaturanga, all the way down onto our belly. Start with your hands just beside your chest, thumbs about even with your chest. Yeah, and Andrew, you can actually walk yours a little wider, yeah, just a tiny bit wider, and that'll give you some space to move your shoulders. We're going to start here by lifting the shoulders as high as the elbows. Okay. Yeah. If you squeeze your elbows and shoulder blades together on your back, hugging to the midline just like we did with the shins, you'll be able to hold them there a little easier. Now pull back with your hands, pull back with your fingers on the mat, as if you're trying to slip and slide yourself forward on the mat. And see if you can feel your abdominal muscles engage. Lift your abs and stretch your waist forward, stretch your heart forward. And then engage the glutes, the top of the glutes, and the tailbone, and lengthen down towards your feet. Good. Stretch up, and when you pull back until your shoulders are about over your wrists, and then press as much as it feels comfortable for your back. Now, as long as your back feels comfortable here, then press the tops of your feet to the floor and lift your thighs. Tailbone lengthening, waistline lifting, head and shoulders back. Good. Exhale and rest. You can make a pillow for your head with your hands and windshield wiper your knees from side to side. here's the fun part, and perhaps the most challenging part of the sun salute being. Coming down from plank to chaturanga, transitioning right into up dog, and then right back to downward facing dog. In order to do it safely, we have to keep the core really strong, our core really engaged, and move from the core, express our pose from the inside out, okay? You wanna do this one with me? All right, so while we're here on the floor, let's start and actually press up through chaturanga back to plank. This is a really good exercise to get better at these poses, okay? So we'll lay on our tummy here. Again, lift our shoulders as high as our elbows. Hug to the midline between the shins and between the shoulder blades. Squeezing the elbows in. Good. Now lift your legs off the floor. Not your feet, just your legs. Lift your knees, lift your thighs. Your butt will stick up in the air a little bit. Good. Tone your quads. As soon as you do that, you'll notice your shoulders dip back towards the floor. So go ahead, lift them up again. Hug the shoulder blades in. Good. The only thing touching the floor is probably your waist and your rib cage. So we're going to start by lifting the belly button. Lift your belly button up. Pull your tailbone down. And then lift your ribs. If this is just not happening, put your knees down and see if you can find that same lift. Then press down and rise all the way to plank. Good. From here, we'll lower back to chaturanga, into up dog or cobra, and then back to down dog. So, I don't think I can do this one talking. So, here we go. Deep inhale, lengthen, and we'll lower down. Chaturanga. Pull back with your hands, come to the tops of your feet, up dog. Lift your abs, roll over your toes, downward dog. And rest. Child's pose. So as you're practicing plank, chaturanga, cobra or up dog, and then downward facing dog, remember to engage your core. Remember to pull back with your hands in order to find more engagement or connection to your core and more length from your core back out. Eventually you'll get light on your toes, so you can roll forward to the tops of your feet, coming to cobra or up dog, and then roll back over the toes lightly on your way back to down dog.